And you're very welcome back to the second half here at Dalymount Park. We're still waiting for the teams to come back. As you can see in the distance there, some of the Rovers supporters, the legions of Rovers supporters, making their way to the right-hand side. They'll be behind the goal that Alan O'Neill will be defending in the second half, in the hope, of course, that they can see some goals. But at half-time, the crowd here being entertained by the music of the Army No. 1 band. They were entertaining us with some figure marching and the music of Molly Bloom, and the band is conducted by Commandant Neil O'Brien. So for just a moment or two, let's enjoy some of their very fine music. The Army No. 1 band, conducted by Commandant Neil O'Brien, splitting into 4 groups. And Commandant O'Brien planning a little bit of figure marching for us now. All part of the spectacle, of course, on this FAI Cup final afternoon. Well, that's the goal away to our left-hand side, the goal that Alan O'Neill was defending in the first half. As you can see, it is quite deserted, filled with Rovers supporters in the first half. They have now vacated that particular spot. They've headed right down along the length of the pitch, and you can now pick them up at the other end. They're behind the goal. They're dressed there in their red and white, or their green and white rather, and no doubt ready to make quite a bit of noise in the second half. Yes, we get all types at the cup final. So the Shamrock Rovers players making their way back for the second half. No doubt Jim McLaughlin has had a word or two with them and told them not to be bottled up the way they were in that first half. Certainly UCD really got to grips with them from about the 15th minute onwards. I'm sure he'll be looking for a good deal more width from their play as well. There's quite a good bit of grass down both flanks. I'm sure he's going to be saying to players like Levin Steedman to stay out there and supply the ball in for the big two. The band on the making their way off as UCD come back for the second half, and I don't think either side has made a change. Keith Dignan having a quick word with Robbie Gaffney. Dignan, as I was saying in the first half, was the very first of the scholarship players to come along in 1979, and he's very much been an ever-present ever since. The scholarship scheme at UCD has allowed players to concentrate on their sport and also to get themselves an academic training, and Dignan in fact has ended up with first class honours, and as well as that he's won himself 7 university caps. Frank Devlin going out of picture, and certainly the Shamrock Rovers supporters looking for some goals in the second half. There's no doubt about it, Rovers have brought back the glamour and a bit of excitement and colour to Irish football with their re-emergence this year. So ready to go. Indeed, quite apart from making history in this country today, UCD become the first Irish university in Western Europe to reach a senior domestic final and go on to play in Europe. And they play from right to left in the second half. Nolan. That time the push by Cullen on Liam Buckley. Pat Byrne anxious to take it quickly and pushing away Frank Devlin, one of the 5 professionals playing in the UCD team. The general manager, Dr. Tony O'Neill, decided to bring in professionals at the start of the season, and it certainly has yielded success. Here's Liam Buckley. In the centre he's got 2 players, but Ken O'Doherty there as well for UCD. Right now waiting for that ball to be handed back into play. King will take the throw. Campbell across for Steedman. Whelan. Keeley. This time Keeley reeling backwards and having to give away the corner. A strange position Dermot Keeley finds himself in this season, having started the year as manager of UCD. He managed them for 3 months in fact, and now here he is facing them in the cup final. Hanrahan then, and all the UCD players are on the edge of the penalty area, ready to make their run forward. Now, Keeley in a confrontation that time with Reynolds. And the referee says that Reynolds was pushing Keeley. Not an easy thing to do indeed. So still we wait for the opening score. King. It went off Robbie Lawler, number 2. Robbie, of course, is the brother of Martin Lawler, plays with Dundalk, and Mick Lawler, who's now in charge of Home Farm. Lawler this time giving it away to Buckley. It comes to Noel King, swinging it wide across the area. Dunning with a good clearance out. O'Doherty to his aid. Neville out by O'Doherty, and the clearance completed by Keith Dignam. Buckley expecting to get the pass back from Neville, but the flag was up. Lawler, a good ball forward if Moran can keep it in play, which he just about can, but the cross was always angling out over the top of the crossbar. The crowd there in the distance still waiting for something really to cheer about in this cup final. Didn't play well by Neville Steedman. Steedman from Burns' throw. And once again, Cody coming forward to link up with the attack. Towards Buckley's head if he can connect. Dunning getting it out. O'Doherty jumping high, but not making any connection. It breaks for Neville. Neville beaten by Robbie Lawler. Devlin. Pat Byrne hammering it back in. Just a moment's hesitation that time between Alan O'Neill and Robbie Lawler. Almost allowing Mick Neville in. And you can see just how congested the centre of the field is. O'Doherty lets it go over his head. Lucky that Dunning was there. Hanrahan. Whelan. Buckley getting it from King. Cullen and Dignan for UCD, running into a strong challenge from Pat Byrne, and Byrne getting the better of it. Here's Steedman, who's not been staying as wide as one would perhaps have liked. And Martin Moran now getting the better of his confrontation with Neville Steedman. Whelan's throw, Steedman. Moran is back there again for UCD. And Cullen helping him out. A good ball from Hanrahan for Reynolds, if he can nip in past the defender. Cody did very well indeed. Just a moment's hesitation, but he always stuck to his task.